You know when a man is attracted to you before he ever says a word. His body betrays him. His actions spill the truth louder than anything that comes out of his mouth. And there's one move, so subtle, so instinctive, that he can't fake. Once you see it, you'll never doubt if he's sexually drawn to you again. Have you ever caught a guy looking at you just a little too long, like he's trying to memorize you? That moment when his energy shifts and suddenly you're aware of his attention. That's no accident. When a man's guard drops, his attraction leaks through. He mirrors your gestures, leans in closer than necessary, and his voice carries that spark. Lower, slower, and warmer, as if every word is meant for you. When a man is truly drawn to you, he can't help but focus. His protective instinct kicks in. He subtly positions himself to shield you, offers his full attention, and even reveals little truths about himself without meaning to. That vulnerability, it's attraction unmasked. So next time, don't just listen to what he says, watch what his body reveals. Tell me in the comments, what's the one sign you've noticed that gives a man away instantly? And keep watching, because the next thing I'm about to share will change the way you read men forever. When a man is truly drawn to you, he may try to stay composed. He might choose his words carefully, but his body doesn't lie. And if you know what to watch for, if you truly understand the silent language he speaks, then every glance, every shift in his posture, every moment he stands a little too close or lingers too long, reveals something raw, something instinctive, something even he might not fully grasp. Attraction isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers. And when a man feels sexual desire for you, his entire being responds, even if he doesn't say a single word. This isn't about guessing. This is about seeing clearly. Because once you understand the signs, once you learn to read that unspoken energy, you step into a quiet kind of power. Not to control, but to understand. You stop wasting time wondering what his intentions are. You won't need to ask if he's into you. His actions, those small, almost invisible gestures, will speak volumes. But only if you're paying attention. This is your moment to wake up that awareness, to become a woman who no longer chases answers, because she already knows. When a man feels that kind of desire, his body will often speak louder than his voice. He may never say how he feels. He may try to stay casual, act like nothing's going on, or hide behind jokes and surface conversation. But if you look just a little deeper, you'll see the truth, because his body will always give it away. His physical presence, his posture, the way he moves, they all shift when he's near a woman who stirs something deep within him. The attraction takes hold of his subconscious. He becomes more alert, more aware of you. He notices little things others overlook. And without even trying, his body starts responding. You may not catch it right away because it can be subtle, but once your eyes are trained to see, you'll start picking up on the signs that speak louder than anything he could ever say. One of the clearest signs is eye contact. When a man feels that kind of pull toward you, his gaze shifts. It lingers, it deepens. He doesn't just glance, he observes, and not in a disrespectful way. It's as if his eyes are pulled to certain parts of you, the shape of your lips when you speak, the way your hair moves when you turn, or the way your face lights up when you laugh. He might quickly look away if he catches himself staring, but that pause, that moment of hesitation before he looks down, that tells you everything. It's the physical expression of a desire he may not even understand yet. His pupils may dilate, a reaction the body has when we see something or someone we're deeply attracted to. You might also notice how his body naturally aligns with yours, even in a group setting, his chest, his knees, his shoulders. He'll be facing you. He'll lean in, not dramatically, but just enough to bridge the gap between you. And when you shift, he adjusts. These aren't conscious moves, they're driven by instinct. A man who is pulled to you like that won't even realize how much his body is moving closer. This isn't about flirtation, it's about positioning. His body simply wants to be near yours. There's also a change in how he carries himself. He might fix his shirt, brush back his hair, roll up his sleeves, or touch his face more than usual. These aren't random or meaningless. They're signals of self-awareness. When a man wants to impress a woman, he wants to look good, often without realizing it. Even the most confident men become more aware of their appearance when the woman they want walks into the room. His chest might puff up just a little. He might stand straighter. It's not always obvious, but it's real. It's ancient. His body is trying to attract yours, even if his words are trying to keep things cool. And sometimes attraction doesn't bring movement, it brings stillness. A man who's usually relaxed might suddenly become tense around you. His body may freeze, his hands might feel awkward, or his thoughts may seem to trail off, not because he lacks confidence, but because your presence rattles something in him. You've shifted his rhythm. His calm is disrupted, not by fear, but by chemistry. That quiet pause, that breath he holds when you're near, that's a truth few men can hide. It shows that you're not just any woman. You've awakened something. There are also moments when he tries to close the distance between you. Maybe he brushes past you on accident. Maybe his hand touches your lower back as you move through a crowd, or he finds excuses to stand a little too close. If he initiates even the lightest of touches, subtle, respectful, but intentional, it's rarely meaningless. Attraction pulls people together, and when it's real, it's almost impossible for him to fight the urge to be physically near you. Even the briefest touch carries weight when it wasn't necessary. When he does it without any real reason, that's your sign. You have to remember, the male body is wired to express desire even when the mind tries to hide it. His movements might seem small, but they carry deep meaning. If he laughs more when you're around, if his smile stays longer, if he's tuned in to every word you say, reacting with focus and warmth, then know this: he's present with you. You're not just someone in the room. You are the moment. And that kind of attention, that kind of still presence, is never casual. It's never passive. It's attraction, pouring out through the one language that never lies, his body. Once you understand this, everything becomes clear. You stop guessing, you start knowing. You begin to observe in silence and let the truth reveal itself. Because when a man is deeply attracted to you, no matter how carefully he tries to mask it, his body will always betray him. And once you learn how to read him, you'll never need to ask again. One of the most misunderstood but powerful signs is when he touches himself. Not in a sexual or inappropriate way, but in small instinctive movements. When he adjusts his collar, rubs the back of his neck, runs his hand through his hair, touches his lips, or smooths the front of his pants, what you're seeing is his nervous system trying to cope with the rising energy inside him. His body is responding to you. He may not even be aware of it, but every gesture is a release of the tension your presence creates. His emotions are stirred, and in an effort to stay composed, he displaces that intensity through motion. Sometimes he fidgets with his ring, a pen, or even his phone, not because he's bored or distracted, but because he needs something to do with his hands. He's caught between the desire to touch you and the awareness that he can't or shouldn't. So his body finds another outlet. These little movements are signs of restraint. He is holding himself back, and the more often these gestures show up when you're near, the louder the message becomes. You're not just a friend, you're someone who ignites his senses. You may also notice grooming behaviors, brushing invisible dust off his jacket, fixing his tie, adjusting his hair. These are unconscious attempts to present the best version of himself. The way someone checks their reflection in a mirror. That's what your presence becomes to him. You are the mirror. You make him want to look better, stand taller, appear more put together. He might never say how he feels, but his body is having the conversation for him. These signs don't just show desire, they reveal the inner conflict that desire brings. Because attraction always brings tension. He's trying to stay relaxed and in control, but inside there's a quiet storm. He's overwhelmed, not with fear, but with feeling. His hands become his tool to stay grounded. Every time he touches his jaw, fiddles with his watch, or adjusts his sleeves, Ask yourself, did this start when you entered the room? Does he do this with others too, or is it only around you? That difference matters. That's your evidence. That's the truth you don't need to chase. It's right there in front of you. Another deeply revealing sign is physical proximity. A man who is sexually drawn to you will almost always try to close the space between you, even subtly. Even when there's no reason to stand close, he does. Not to intrude or make you uncomfortable, but because his body wants to be closer to whatever energy you're giving off. He doesn't always realize he's doing it. It's not about logic, it's about gravity. Your presence pulls him in, the energy it craves. He might sit a little closer than needed. He might lean in when you speak. He might linger just a moment longer than expected when saying goodbye. These moments, while fleeting, carry deep meaning. Proximity is never just about physical space. It's about intent. A man who isn't drawn to you will keep a polite, neutral distance. He'll interact kindly, but won't seek closeness. But the man who feels a pull toward you, he'll drift into your orbit without fully realizing why. He might not understand why he always chooses the seat beside you, or why he keeps ending up shoulder to shoulder when others keep their distance. That invisible pull overrides thought. Attraction doesn't make sense. It's chemical. And the more time he spends near you, the more those chemicals awaken. He's not just beside you, he's magnetized. Sometimes that closeness brings casual, seemingly innocent touches. A hand on your back as you pass through a door. A light touch on your shoulder when he laughs. His knee brushing yours and not moving away. These aren't always accidents. Often they're quiet tests. Tests to see how you'll respond. Tests to feel the electricity between you. Tests to stretch the tension and see if it will snap or ignite. These touches are often planned by instinct, not logic. They happen because the body dares to go where the mind hesitates. When a man is deeply attracted to you, he doesn't just want to look, he wants to feel. He wants the connection to slip into the physical, even in the most subtle ways. And the more he feels that connection, the more you'll notice his personal space bending, his boundaries softening. That zone of safety he holds for others starts to blur with you. He's no longer seeking just words, he's seeking nearness. That longing might not always turn into action, but it always turns into behavior. Watch how he shifts, how often he enters your space, how he finds little excuses to stand just a bit too close. That's not random. That's desire, moving quietly, and your power is in noticing, in seeing what's not spoken, in understanding that attraction doesn't always show up in declarations or bold gestures. Sometimes it's felt in stillness, in silence, in those tiny physical distances that shrink without anyone noticing. And when you begin paying attention, you won't need to ask how he feels, because he's already telling you, with every fidget, every shift in posture, every pause close enough for you to feel the current. His attraction isn't hidden, it's all over him. You just need to read it. One of the most powerful signs of sexual attraction is how a man sounds and shows up when he's around the woman he wants. While most people listen to the words, it's often the way he speaks and the way he becomes fully present that gives away the truth. Words can be rehearsed, energy cannot. When a man is truly drawn to you, something in him changes. He becomes more deliberate. His voice may soften or drop lower. His pace slows. He begins to speak with a quiet weight, a gravity he doesn't carry with just anyone. It's not an act of seduction, it's instinct, it's emotional pull. The desire to connect shifts not just his body but his tone. He may speak more gently, as though drawing you into a softer, more private space. There's warmth in his voice, a kind of thickness to the sound, as if his words are wrapped in emotion. It becomes less about delivering a message and more about reaching you. His voice becomes the bridge. You'll also notice something rare in his focus. A man who is sexually drawn to you becomes entirely present. He's not scrolling his phone, he's not half listening, he's locked in. When you speak, he's not just hearing you, he's watching your lips, the flicker in your eyes, the shifts in your voice. He's absorbing you. It can feel like time slows for him. That kind of presence is uncommon. Most people drift through moments, but a man who deeply desires you becomes completely awake in your energy. It stirs something in him, and you'll feel that shift. The quiet pull in his attention, the way his stillness holds weight, the way he answers quickly, or the way silence becomes charged. That's not boredom, that's tension. That's longing holding back. It's in the quiet between your words that the meaning builds. And this won't be how he is with everyone. His energy shifts with you. He might get more thoughtful, more curious, or even quieter. Not because he has nothing to say, but because he's trying not to say the wrong thing. That attraction makes him careful. That caution speaks volumes. You begin to understand the full picture. Because attraction doesn't only live in the eyes or in proximity, it's in how he shows up. His voice isn't just noise, it's a vibration full of intention, and his presence becomes a reflection of the power you hold, without needing to try. When a man is genuinely attracted to you, his presence becomes something you feel before you ever touch. Even if he never says it out loud, his energy speaks first. It wraps itself around you. It leaves traces after he's gone. And once you've experienced that, you can't forget it. You'll know when a man's attention was real. So many women miss this. They wait for obvious signals, a message, a compliment, a clear move. But presence doesn't lie. Performance can be faked, but presence is honest. When a man is truly attracted to you, he moves differently. His rhythm syncs with yours. He mirrors you, not just in gestures, but in emotional pace. He'll start using your words, matching your tone, laughing when you do. That's not coincidence, that's chemistry. That's the mind and body trying to match energy. It's beautiful because it tells the truth before anyone dares to speak it. So when you learn to feel his presence and listen to the tone of his voice, you no longer need to guess. You won't need to study texts or decode silences. You'll know. You'll feel it in the shifts, in the way he slows, softens, becomes still, or even a little awkward. That is what desire looks like when it's trying to stay respectful. It's quiet urgency, silent craving, a longing that holds itself back. And the woman who can feel this becomes powerful, because she doesn't have to ask for attention. She already holds it. Desire is rarely loud. It moves quietly. And when a man is truly drawn to you, he won't always chase. He might pause. He might breathe. He might take his time. Because what he feels isn't shallow. It's energy. And the stronger the energy, the deeper he wants to feel it. He doesn't want just a quick spark. He wants the whole fire. So he listens longer. He watches closer. He seems mesmerized. This isn't strategy. This isn't game. It's instinct. It's the gravity of who you are pulling him in. And he's trying to understand it. His stillness is the result of the intensity inside him. It's control, not due to lack of desire, but because he wants to experience you fully. This is where tension builds. Not the heavy kind that makes you uneasy, but the kind that makes the air tingle. It's in how he pauses before he speaks, weighing his words. It's in the silences that don't feel empty, but full. He's not quiet because he's distant. He's quiet because the energy already speaks. He doesn't need to overwhelm you. He doesn't need to show off. What he wants is connection. Real, rooted connection. This kind of desire doesn't burst. It simmers. It stretches time. It adds intensity to the smallest glance. The way he leans in, the way he catches every little detail, the way his smile holds your gaze. And you'll notice something else, how he holds back from touching you too soon. A man who's only after surface level intimacy will rush, will push, will ignore your comfort. But a man who feels something deeper will wait. Not because he doesn't want you, but because he values the slow burn. He treasures the build-up. He honors the moment. He's tuned in. He's grounded. He wants this to unfold in its own rhythm. He knows the energy between you is already speaking, and he doesn't want to disturb it by rushing. That is desire in its most respectful, powerful form. Quiet, present, intentional, forced. And that tells you something meaningful. He's not just trying to have you, he wants to experience you. You might notice him searching for little ways to be close without making it obvious. He doesn't grab, he doesn't grope, he stays just slightly nearer than needed. He may let his arm brush against yours by accident, or let his fingers pause a moment longer when handing you something. It never feels intrusive. It's deliberate. It's gentle. He's not testing to manipulate. He's trying to understand the pull between you both. He wants to know if you feel it too. Every time your hands almost touch, every time your bodies come close but don't meet, something deeper stirs in him. And that quiet tension, it's not a game, it's chemistry unfolding through space, timing, and restraint. This is what many women miss. They assume if a man doesn't act quickly, he must not be interested. But the truth is, when a man feels something real, he slows down. He becomes more careful, more intentional. He doesn't want to mess it up. He's not chasing a moment of pleasure. He's hoping for a moment that actually matters. His patience doesn't mean disinterest. It's the clearest proof of how deeply he's feeling. He's torn between the desire to touch you and the decision to honor you. And that inner tug creates a kind of quiet storm between you, a silent pressure that builds without a single word being spoken. The woman who notices this, she doesn't chase it. She doesn't question it. She senses it. She watches. She listens. She feels what's happening in the space between his actions. She notices how he lingers longer than he needs to when saying goodbye, how he holds back even when it's uncomfortable, how he waits even when everything in him is telling him to act. She sees how he laughs gently but his eyes stay focused, how he doesn't say everything he feels but somehow reveals it anyway, through his energy, through the tension in the air. She understands that what he withholds says just as much as what he offers, because when a man is truly attracted to you, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, he doesn't rush. He softens. He leans in. He respects the moment. He lets the connection deepen on its own without pressure. And that alone is more powerful than any words or gifts. When a man is truly attracted to you, he may not declare it outright, but if you're paying attention, you'll feel it through his presence. He shows up in a way that feels rare. He's focused, he's alert. His attention doesn't drift. He's not half listening or scanning the room. It's like the world quiets, and you become the only thing he's tuned into. That kind of presence isn't casual. It's rooted in attraction, and once you've experienced that, you'll never mistake it again. He listens to more than just your words. He listens to how you speak, the rise and fall of your voice, the spaces between your sentences, the emotions you try to hide. He becomes in sync with your energy. And that level of attunement only happens when something deeper is pulling at him. You'll notice it in how he responds, how his reactions become quicker, how his eyes light up without him realizing, not because he's trying to impress you, but because he's genuinely engaged. That's one of the clearest signs of real attraction. It goes beyond the physical. It's emotional. It's instinctive. He wants to soak you in, not to own you, but because he's captivated by something in you. You'll feel it because his body stays near. His eyes don't wander to his phone. His feet don't point toward the door. Everything about him leans toward you. It's in his body language, in how he mirrors your smile, in how he hesitates before replying, as if he doesn't want the moment to pass too fast. Presence speaks louder than words, and when a man gives you his full presence, he's not just being polite. He's moved by you. He's feeling your softness, your energy, your uniqueness, and the more he feels it, the more connected he wants to become. That's when you begin to sense the difference between a man who's playing a role and one who is genuinely moved, physically and emotionally, by your presence. Because a man who's just being friendly won't lock in like that. But a man who's drawn to you, his whole energy shifts. He might not flirt with words, but everything else will show it. Something in you wakes something in him. But here's where most people miss the truth. Just because a man is deeply attracted to you doesn't mean he's the right man for you. And this is where your strength as a woman speaks. The power isn't in being wanted, it's in how you choose to respond. This is where you show your value. A high-value woman doesn't react just because a man is drawn to her. She pauses, she reads between the lines, she sees attraction as a beginning, not the full story. She knows how to feel the energy, but she doesn't let it sweep her away. She stays centered. Because her worth is not tied to how many men want her. It's revealed in how she holds herself when they do. When you become that woman, the one who stays calm under attention, who doesn't crave reassurance, who doesn't shrink or perform,